Coming up on MU Report, the Marshall community remembers the lives lost in the 1970 plane crash.
Also, a staple in the Huntington restaurant community closes its doors. We'll show you how it affected the Marshall community. MU Report starts now.
From the campus of Marshall University, this is MU Report.
Hello and welcome to MU Report. I'm Ashton.
And I'm Jake Snyder. This is a student-produced newscast from the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Marshall University remembered the tragic event that happened to Marshall 41 years ago. It was the plane crash of 1970. The crash claimed 75 lives, and as Crystal Phillips reports, students are still honoring those men and women today.
It was a rainy night on November 14th, 1970, when a plane full of Marshall University football players, coaching staff, boosters, fans, and the flight crew missed the runway at the Huntington Tri-State Airport.
This tragedy has impacted all of us. But over time, I firmly believe that these impacts have been turned into positive testimonials for those who we now honor today.
There were a total of 75 lives lost that day, and it was named one of the worst single-air tragedies in NCAA sports history.
In remembering, we are reminded how precious life is, how precious our time on this earth truly is.
Every year on November 14th, the Marshall community gathers at the Memorial Fountain to honor those lives. Even the students today are still remembering.
From these bracelets, produced by the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity, bearing the words "Never Forgotten," to an overwhelming amount of posts on social media networks, I am proud of my peers for both remembering and for not making light of this tragic occasion.
The Memorial Fountain here in the heart of Marshall has been silenced to remember those 75 lives. Whether you're from Huntington or know the story, there's one thing we all know. We are Marshall. Crystal Phillips, MU Report.
Marshall University and Enterprise RentACar announced on October 31st that they have partnered to provide car sharing to students, faculty, and staff. Marshall students 18 years and older are eligible for membership. As Corey Oxley reports, members can reserve a vehicle online, then rent the car and return it to the same location.
If you're looking for a ride on campus, then look no more. Marshall is providing a rental car program that can apply to any student 18 and over. Marshall President Stephen J. Kopp discovered the program and wanted to bring it to Marshall as a service that really helps students.
It's just going to give kids who are honestly barely making it through college because of finances just another opportunity to get their stuff done on their own and be more independent and more responsible.
The rental costs vary for each vehicle, but the overnight rates range from $35 to $40. The WeCar program is offered to more than 40 colleges throughout the United States and Canada, and can potentially be a big hit here on campus.
Basically what the WeCar program does, provides cars that students are able to rent. You don't have to be 24 as you do with other rental services. You only have to be 18, so all of our students will be eligible to rent it. You can rent it by the hour, overnight, or daily. So it really eliminates the need to have a car on campus, essentially.
The Nissan Altima and the Ford Fiesta stay parked here by 5th Avenue. Students can sign up for the WeCar program online and rent the cars at any time. Be interesting to see if students make use of this new program. Corey Oxley, MU Report.
Marshall students, faculty, and staff with a valid driver's license can sign up for the program at www.wecar.com/Marshall.
A Huntington restaurant loved by many Marshall fans and the community as a whole went out of business recently. Trevin Hannes was there for Chili Willie's last day of business.
Since his freshman year, Marshall University's junior Corey Godis came to Chili Willie's for lunch twice a week. Last month, Chili Willie's served Gode the last bowl of chili he enjoys most. The restaurant, loved by Marshall students, faculty, and fans alike, went out of business.
Well, ever since I was a Marshall student, I ate here a lot more. But growing up, I was always coming here getting the original red, so really going to miss it.
He says Chili Willie's was original and thinks it will never be replaced.
I don't know anywhere else to get chili.
This was freshman Elisha Cabarrus' first time eating at Chili Willie's. It would also be his last. He says these last days of business give people the chance to say goodbye and may have employees looking on the bright side of the circumstances.
I think now that this place is coming down, people I feel like they got a get their piece, their share, their experience here, and I think that because of the fact they're closing down is also attracting more business. And
Caitlin Hawley is another Marshall student who is from the area that has grown up with Chili Willie's. She says locally owned restaurants have made the college town what it is.
It's just one less place that you have to come to, really.
Not only is this local hotspot closed, but other places that were considered gems to Huntington have gone out of business. The Cinema on 4th Avenue and Jolly Pirate Donut on 5th Avenue are no more. Caitlin says different types of restaurant chains coming into the city of Huntington take away the rarities you can't find anywhere else.
It kind of discourages people to open up businesses here unless they are a chain or something, because they might not make it.
It is a sad and dreary day in the Marshall community. Chili Willie's closes down today. After serving the tri-state area for 29 years, the restaurant may be gone, but never forgotten. Trevin Hannes, Emmy reports.
The downtown Discount Cinema Theater near campus also closed its doors for the final time earlier this month. Greater Huntington Theater Corporation President Derek Hyman says the loss of the cinema, along with family-owned theaters Keith Albee and Camelot, was due to the 16-screen theater opened in Pullman Square. Hyman says his family operated the cinema since 1918 and bought the building in mid-1980s.
Well, the loss of the cinema, it's the last theater that my family has in Huntington. We've been here for a long time, and that really more than anything is kind of a sense of loss.
The cinema was most recently known for its cheap ticket prices to see movies that were no longer in theaters, but not yet released on DVD.
Members of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity are giving up the comforts of home and spending the week living outside of the Memorial Student Center. Fraternity members occupy the shelter for hourly shifts with the goal of raising awareness for the homeless. The goal is to raise donations for the Huntington City Mission. The fraternity is occupying the shelter 24 hours a day, regardless of the weather.
You know, it's for a great cause, and it really puts in perspective, you know, what some people actually go through, and you know how great we have it. Just, you know, some of the privileges we actually do have. But it's been chilly. It's supposed to be 39 tonight, and I'm staying in it tonight, so that should be, you know, that'll be tough.
While service projects like these are common on Marshall's campus, living outside is a unique way to raise awareness.
The Francis Booth Experimental Theater was host to the Tunnel of Oppression last week. As Aliana Tejas reports, the tunnel allowed students to take a first-hand look at the issues that tend to plague college students.
The Tunnel of Oppression was originally developed at Western Illinois University. A handful of students gathered in the Francis Booth Experimental Theater on Wednesday to experience several scenes about image, autism, international student discrimination, homophobia, religious oppression, relationship violence, and race.
In the show, I'm on the committee, and we each volunteered to do a different skit. I worked specifically on the body image skit, and I worked with Michelle Barber with Career Services and Jonathan James with Greek Affairs. So we collaborated to create the body image skit, and also helped all of the other skit makers review theirs and kind of critique them, and figured out what the best way would be to present each topic without offending anyone.
It was an opportunity for students to see and hear the realities of oppression and create an awareness and tolerance for the issues that surround us daily.
I learned a lot of new things, especially about international students. I have a lot of friends, and I'm a walk-on on the tennis team, and all of our teammates are international students, and I got to witness how they can be treated, and I never really thought about it like that, so it's a very eye-opening experience.
Very, very, very happy with the first showing. It went amazing. I think that student actors did a great job with improvising and figuring out the best way to convey each message in each skit, and I really do think the students that were there got the message that we hoped that they would.
The Tunnel of Oppression created a sensory experience for students to be more aware of the issues that surround us daily. Also, to promote social change. I'm Aliana Tejas, ME Report.
The Tunnel of Oppression exhibit had more than 40 people at its first showing, which was more than organizers expected.
With the football season coming to a close and basketball season starting up, it's been a busy week for Marshall sports. Here's Aaron Payne with how the Herd fared.
Thanks, guys. When the calendar turns to November, the focus of Marshall sports fans turns from the gridiron to the hardwood. As Dalton Hammonds reports, Marshall students are quick to purchase tickets to this game this season.
Expectations are at an all-time high for Marshall's men's basketball team. With an NCAA tournament appearance potentially in the cards, students are lining up to see their thundering Herd. The Marshall Ticket Office has implemented a new policy that requires students to get their tickets in advance.
The demand was absolutely amazing, and it was just going to be best for our students to make sure that the allotment that we have set aside for them, that they're guaranteed to get those tickets, and that we want to make sure that that lower bowl is full for every single game.
With the season just getting underway, it may take some time to figure out if the new ticket policy is a hit or a miss among Marshall's fan base.
I think they'll eventually get used to it the hard way, when they get turned away if they can't get into a game. So I think it'll catch on pretty quick.
Students who do not purchase a ticket on time will have to pay $5 for a general admission seat. If the team plays to their potential, even getting a seat could become a problem.
My goal is to never turn away a student, and if we get to the point where I have to, then that's great, because that means we've sold out the place,
Marshall students are now required to come here, to the ticket office inside the Cam Henderson Center. It's a big-time move for what could potentially be a big-time season. Dalton Hammonds, MU Report.
Marshall began its season with a pair of victories, one coming against an NCAA tournament team from a year ago. On November 11th, the Thundering Herd defeated Alabama State 67-49 behind a double-double from newcomer Dennis Tennant. 2 days later, Jacksonville State fell to the Herd by a score of 58-44. The stout Marshall defense held the Gamecocks to just 30% shooting from the floor. The Thundering Herd is now preparing for an important game against Cincinnati on November 25th. Marshall's women's basketball team is gearing up for the 2011-2012 season. The team is looking to take on the best Conference USA has to offer. Last season, the team was beset by numerous injuries, which led to limited depth and a 9-21 record. Before the new season, the Herd has gotten healthy. Marshall has also added numerous new faces and gained the ability to rotate fresh legs into games at will. As for the goals of this season team, head coach Royce Chadwick says there are different goals at different levels.
The first possession in the game on Friday. We want to win the first possession in the game on Friday. Then we turn our attention to the second possession. Then you turn it to the third, and then you hopefully get to the half, and you've done some good things. And you've got to come out and focus for the second half. So we have a lot of intermediate goals, some beginning goals, things that we want to build upon while we build that pyramid toward trying to take this team to the NCAAs.
The team started out on the right foot with a 93-50 win over Kent State to start the season back on November 11th. That's it with your sports.
Well, Ashton, it's not quite Christmas yet, but some students are already getting into the holiday spirit.
That's right. And students are making homemade cards to send home to soldiers who won't be making it home for this Christmas season.
With the holidays quickly approaching, one Marshall resident assistant isn't wasting any time. Danielle Henderson hosted a program in the lobby of Towers West to create holiday cards to be sent overseas. This cause hits home for Henderson, and she says a simple card can mean so much.
My dad, he is, active military, so is my brother and my brother-in-law and my uncles, and so I've always come from a military family, and I know how it is when they're overseas. During the Christmas holidays, all they want is a piece of home. They want to be home.
Glue, markers, and cards were provided for students. All they had to do was decorate, sign, and simply drop their card into the box.
I think it's going to mean a lot, those guys really aren't expecting much out there, and just to get a holiday card, it means a lot to them. It warms the heart.
Many of the students who made the cards say they have a double benefit. The soldiers enjoy receiving while the students enjoy sending.
A lot of us, have friends or family that have been deployed, but for us to be able to take ourselves back for a minute and to be able to do something and send it out, it really makes us grow as people and also as a university.
The cards will be sent to Maryland for screening and then shipped overseas for the holidays. Tonight, Resident Services collected more than 65 cards for the soldiers. For this holiday season, Marshall students are giving the gift that keeps on giving.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching.